Hey, good day, everybody. It's Kentario. Now back again with Christ and comic books. Sorry to do that intro like that, guys. That's me working on my wings. Caught up watching Ip Man again because I finally watched the fourth movie, the finale, and then I was like, hey, let me go back and watch the beginning. And then I'm watching movie 1, about to watch movie 2 again, and I'm about to watch movie 3 again. I'm sorry, man, but Ip Man is... Today we're getting into the Marvel Zombies, okay? So y'all just bear with me. Let's get Marvel Zombies. Bang. Alright, so like I said, we're going to be doing a comparison between Marvel Zombies and DC's Deceased. We had Walking Dead. Other people want more zombie stories. Like in the early 2000s, we learned that there was a different dimension, which was the ultimate dimension, as it starts out by going with time travel as its intro, because some people that broke into Reed Richards' facility. Okay, one, these guys were able to break into Reed Richards' place. When Reed Richards should be top notch, it should have already been prepared for that. So one thing that we learn is this is, again, a different universe. This is a younger version of Reed Richards, younger version of Sue. Reed makes this machine, and in him making this machine, he gets snatched through the dimension. And the purpose of this was, the Reed from this universe is zombified, as well as the rest of the Fantastic Four, and they were trying to get them hands on some meat. They was hungry, because they've already eaten up everybody else in this universe. The only ones that are still alive are the Fantastic Four from the Zombieverse ends up moving into this universe. And in them moving into this universe, they are confronted with Susan Thing and Human Torch. And they end up stopping them. They overtook Magneto in a heartbeat and they started munching. They was hungry. They was eating and chewing and boom. Now, I want to pause there for a second. If Thor doesn't have the hammer. Something to think about. Thor doesn't have the hammer. But they don't, so I don't know what that was. I do apologize because I was about to post it. We're not posting that garbage. We're going to redo this video one more time. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Christ and comic books. And today, like I said, we're hitting on that Marvel Zombies. We're going to be talking about this book a little bit. We're not going to get too deep into the religious aspect. We're not going to get too deep in relating it to Deceased. But we're just going to focus on the content in the book. And like I said before, this was written by Robert Kirkman. And he made this back in, I believe it was 2009, the end of 2009 leading up into 2010. And this series starts off with what seems as though to be the Marvel's Ultimate Universe, because you have a younger version of Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four, and they're working together to try and capture this team that has infiltrated the Baxter building, stealing a time machine, going back to the beginning of time, and is about to kill the first creature to emerge from the waters and begin, of course, mankind. So that amphibious lizard type thing, they were going to take it and threatening his life. It's worse, losing all their money or saving all of humanity. So, you know, that was a very dumb intro for this to be a zombie series, in my opinion. But it does at least segue to, you know, the machinery and what type of things they're working on inside the Baxter building, which is where the Fantastic Four end up working at. So, with the Fantastic Four saving the day, of course, going back to the regular ways of things working, and Reed getting fussed out for them getting infiltrated and their machine being taken, they segue to him actually working on a machine to go to an alternate dimension. But in him working on this, he is communicating with the Reed Richards of that dimension. I believe it was called the Negative Verse in here. So with them working on this machine, he ends up finally being able to get through and meeting with this Reed Richards. Now, the Reed Richards he's speaking with, one is the older version, the one we're more used to seeing with the white hair along his side of his head, not this younger version that we're seeing now, constantly wearing glasses. No disrespect, I love my glasses. Ray-Ban, baby. As he enters this universe, he's faced with a plethora of zombie versions of all of the heroes in the Marvel Universe. Now, I kind of had to double back and skim and see all of who was involved, but I was so shocked to see all of these characters that were in here. Another interesting thing, as we go through this, you'll see that this is taking place in older versions of Marvel, not new. Some of the aspects of that is found with the way that Thor is written. Thor is written drawn more so with his golden locks, the helmet, and the wings spanning from it. You got Luke Cage wearing his more old, like 50s, 60s look. Got the afro, the headband on his head, and the yellow unbuttoned shirt with the blue jeans. So you're kind of seeing these old school looks. Even Iron Man's armor is old. You got the old Ant-Man look. All of this stuff is old school, right? So you can already see where they're coming from. But we're going to hit on that at the end of this video. So with him being attacked, he's trying to get away from all of these Marvel heroes coming to kill him, and in the midst of him being attacked, he's saved by none other than Magneto, which is actually kind of surprising, but at the same time, Magneto is one of those people, not necessarily intellectually smart, but it plays on his thought process from the get-go of mutants being that superior race. One of the ways that he ended up surviving was that he went back to Asteroid M. That's where he was safe havened at. Now, he's returned to Earth to, of course, protect some humans, which he has hidden away in a subway somewhere. And with him being Magneto saving Reed Richards, they come together back at their safe place. So this leads into them wanting to get back to the Baxter building that's all torn down in this universe, to get back there so that they can go back to the Ultimate Marvel Universe and be safe. Now, the reason I say it's the Marvel Ultimate Universe is based off of, one, the art style that's being used is very Ultimate Universe reference, as well as the type of Thor that they have and other characters that they reference throughout here as well. So it really seems very relative to that. What I think they're playing on is, back in the early 2000s is when the Marvel Ultimate Universe was introduced, to bring in all of the Marvel characters up to date with that time period and making the stories more viable for that time, the early 2000s. Along with that, it seems that that's what they're playing off of with making these old school Marvel characters and that universe, the zombie universe, is because they're the ones that are dying out, is the old school. So with them, they're working together to get to that building. They safely do get there, but what ends up happening is the Fantastic Four from the Zombieverse are not there. They end up using the machine to go into the Ultimate Universe. Now, the other three Fantastic Four of the Ultimate Universe are able to hold them off and even imprison them. And at the same time, use that machine to go back to the Zombieverse and help Reed return. But not only in helping Reed return, they help the humans come through as well. So a father and his daughter are saved, and a couple of other people have been saved as well. About a total of 4 people. In the midst of them being saved, Magneto holds off the threat of the other zombies that are coming and attacking. Like, he uses his powers and he holds them off. He's like, I'm not weak. You know I'm not weak. And we all know Magneto's not weak. Magneto's a heavy hitter. He is a powerful banger. Now, Magneto, though, ends up getting taken down. And that's where you really get to see the zombie aspect of the story, because he gets eaten, he gets devoured. Like, you see them ripping limbs off of him, you see them all gathered together, and they're devouring on him. Like, they went in on him, and I was shook to see it play out that way. Magneto's dead, and in this moment, you get a better understanding of the zombies, and that's what I want to touch on right here. What you learn about these zombies is, these zombies have maintained their intellect, they have maintained their consciousness. And it helps that when they eat, they're able to think more clearly and rationally. But here's another aspect to that too. They feel conviction. And that's something that I want to hit on when I do the religious aspect of the video. But they feel a conviction after what they've done. You see that with the Hulk, for one. After he gets full, he turns back to Banner. Of course, that impacts him physically, because another aspect of this is healing factors are taken away. But you hear him speaking, and he's speaking about, intellectually, this is what we need to do, this is bad, why did this happen, we need to figure out where we got infected from, we need to come up with a cure. You're hearing all of these thoughts come out of him after he's full. You hear Peter Parker freaking out, and now he's convicted, because you find out he's the one that ate Aunt May and Mary Jane. So he's torn apart from, having killed the people that he loved. So actually getting his belly full, there's a lot of damage on him mentally. And even more so, like I said, the other intellectual characters start planning out and thinking, what are our next steps? How are we going to get to this other universe? Because we're going to get hungry again, and we need to be able to think clearly, otherwise we're going to go crazy. They're planning on getting these zombies that they have now back to their universe, but they don't fully know how they're going to get them back there. In the midst of all this happening, Johnny Storm ends up getting sick. And what happened was, there's an infection inside of him, some type of ancient creature. And this ancient creature is attaching itself to the strongest in the vicinity where he's at. And it's suspected that he got this when he entered into the Zombieverse. It attached itself to him because he was technically the strongest in that moment that he could attach itself to. So he's getting sick. The Fantastic Four have no idea what they can do to save Johnny Storm. And so they end up deciding that we got to go to the smartest guy in this entire universe. They go to Dr. Doom for some help. And them going to Dr. Doom, Dr. Doom is completely against helping them. Because what happened was, it seems when the time machine was stolen, they used that as an opportunity to place blame on Dr. Doom to make him look bad. Now, the thing about Dr. Doom, and without getting deep into him, is that Dr. Doom may be a evil person in some sense. You know, high ego, selfish, don't care about nobody else. But you do see one with the way he carries Latveria, his nation. He keeps it peaceful. He cares for his people, and he shows himself to be the strongest and best person for those people. And the other side to that as well is his honor has been hurt by them defaming him. If he did something, he's gonna own it. But this wasn't something he did, so he doesn't need that kind of shame on his name, or even more so being spoken about his nation. So he was very hurt about that. So him and Reed come up with this agreement that they're going to switch brains. So Reed is going to be inside of Dr. Doom and vice versa. And Dr. Doom is going to use Reed's body, go in and act as if he is Reed, and of course perform a magical spell to remove this entity from within Johnny Storm to save his life. And he doesn't speak on any other keys of what's going to take place with that in that moment. Now, to kind of leave from here, we shift back to the Zombieverse. And what's happening in Zombieverse is that the team, you have Ant-Man. Ant-Man is going back to a hidden place. What he has here is he has Poor Man. And I feel real bad, too, because that was tearing me up that was happening. He gets back to Black Panther. And what he ends up doing is he's storing Black Panther to have his own separate food source, cutting up little bits of him to eat on. For instance, he's already taken his leg so that he can maintain his intellect, so that he can be thinking of something else that they can do to save everybody. Now, this is playing on the selfishness and the greed and the inferiority complex, I guess you could say. He has low self-esteem. The old school Ant-Man had very low self-esteem. Hank Pym always felt like threatened by everybody else because Iron Man showed himself to be smart. Black Panther, as you can see, showed himself to be smart, but those two were friends. But anytime it came to him and him being the guy to come up with stuff, his demonstration of scientific advancement was minimal in respect to the other characters. And I think Marvel used that back then to play off of that, because everyone loved other characters more than they liked Ant-Man. So that was something that they used for his actual character. And another aspect to that too, because while he's doing this, his wife comes in, Wasp, and she's witnessing this. What are you doing? You stash your food? Because she's, of course, a zombie too, and she freaks out on him. And so he ends up destroying all of her body, leaving just her head because he got so mad. Now that also plays into old school Hank Pym, because old school Hank Pym was actually verbally and physically abusive to his wife. So they're keeping with some very key things from the old school Marvel series. So this segues as well to them ending up getting attacked by the Silver Surfer, who comes, they actually get attacked. He ends up showing up, and they're like, oh, more food, right? They start attacking Silver Surfer. Now, in my mind, I'm like, okay, 1, you should know him. 2, no way you guys are going down. But somehow they get their hands on him and they're able to eat him. But his body has been able to sustain, cosmic level battle damage without getting hurt. And even more so, a high level of a healing factor that's high, that can't even be compared to certain other Marvel characters in their healing factor. Spider-Man has a healing factor, his doesn't compare. I think it's argumentative between Silver Surfer and Wolverine. But anyway, they were able to bite through his flesh, they were able to devour him, and I was just like, no, this is stupid. He's too powerful for that. But they beat him. And I was like, okay, you're going to make them able to eat Silver Surfer. Man. But what they did with that was, they allowed for that to make them able to have the cosmic power that Silver Surfer has. So now they have a certain level of cosmic power. So he warned them of Galactus was coming, and Galactus ends up coming. Now what they do is they plan to devour Galactus too. I don't get it. They're so hungry. But they plan on devouring Galactus, and they use a machine that Hank Pym makes, Ant-Man, and they use their cosmic energy, charge it together in this one machine to make one big blast, damaging his armor and making him able to be eaten on, and the zombies dominate Galactus. They go from dominating Magneto, to dominating Silver Surfer, to dominating Galactus. And now we have an intergalactic team of zombies that go around the world to devour other planets. And that's the story of Marvel Zombies, at least for that portion. The other half of that is, they have to save Johnny Storm, right? So with them going to go save Johnny Storm, Reed Richards, aka Dr. Doom, goes in and he starts to do his chant to cast his spell to remove this alien entity from within Johnny Storm. It ends up coming out. But in it coming out, one of the things Dr. Doom didn't reveal from the ancient text that he read up on this alien creature was that it goes to the strongest creature in the vicinity. Now, with that being said, of course the Fantastic Four are all there because a part I forgot to mention, the Fantastic Four zombies end up getting out because they use Miss Invisible's ability to hide themselves to make the humans that were watching them think they escaped. So they open the doors, they break out on them, they're trying to attack everybody, they're taking over the Baxter building, they're wanting to open up the portal again so that they can let their brothers through. But, you know, what happens is at the same time that entity is being released, several other heroes, Iron Man, Thor, and other heroes are coming through, Captain America from this Ultimate Universe, to come and help stop them. But what happens is the alien entity comes out. Now in this moment, the strongest one there at the moment is Thor. They play on that. It's because it shoots right past Thor. But instead of infecting Thor, it infects the strongest in this Marvel Universe, and you know who that is? Dr. freaking Doom. He infects Dr. Doom. And what Dr. Doom ends up doing is revealing, of course, I'm not who I am, I'm Dr. Doom. I saved everybody, y'all gonna respect me. And in him doing that, he immediately switches back to his own body. And then he uses himself to go and not only force the Fantastic Four back through, he goes into the Zombieverse himself. Now, there is no telling what that leads to. There is no telling what kind of outcome that brings fully, because they actually are coming out with Marvel Zombies Resurrection here, and I believe in September. So we'll be able to see what else are they going to add to this. What else are they going to create? But like I said, we got the zombies in space using Galactus's cosmic energy now going to planet. I thought that was crazy as crap. And then you got Dr. Doom showing himself to be the strongest in the Marvel Ultimate Universe. Thank you guys. That's all I have on our Marvel Zombies arc. Next time, we're going to be covering DC's Deceased. So we're going to talk about their zombies. I hope you guys tune in and y'all have yourselves a blessed one. Good night.